Hey, I'm meteorologist Doug Myers with the latest forecast on this Thursday. Yesterday was just a little bit cooler than expected, only by a couple degrees, but that cloud cover certainly played a little bit of a factor, and so just something to be aware of for these next couple of days. Upper 40s yesterday. I do expect warmer weather to round out the work week because we'll have an increase in humidity as temperatures today. I think they'll be more in the low 60s versus the mid 60s that we originally thought from yesterday, just because of some morning fog that may not dissipate quick enough to where we'll be able to sneak in a little bit of sun. There still might be some sun, but I'm going partly to mostly cloudy skies for today. Still a lot of cloud cover, especially during the morning hours. And then scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow with highs in the low to mid 70s. It is going to be a fairly windy day tomorrow as well, with winds out of the south gusting 35 to 40, possibly 45 miles per hour. So kind of right on that edge of possible wind advisory criteria. We'll keep an eye on that. But of course, the big weather story is going to be the storm risk. And you'll notice that winds start to shift as we head into the evening. That's going to be a cold front that pushes into the area. Now, it may originally be a dry line, but then we get that cold front pushing through and dropping our temperatures down as we head into Friday night. The easiest way, there's obviously other factors, but the easiest way to know whether or not storms have a potential to be severe is dew points. Anytime it's in the 60s, a high likelihood. Mid to upper 50s, that's still a pretty good chance. Once it drops in the low 50s and certainly colder than that with those dew point temperatures, that's when the severe weather threat really comes down. Certainly the tornado threat comes down. And so here's the latest. 5 p.m., we still have some fairly high dew points. So we're still going to be monitoring that potential tornado risk heading into tomorrow evening. But as we get towards 10 o'clock, we're still looking at those higher dew points in the eastern half of our viewing area and 30s for dew points out to the west. Your tornado threat will be done by then, no doubt about that. And there's very good likelihood that the storm risk will be done there too. And this will continue to push eastward heading into the rest of the evening. I think the way things are trending right now, we're looking at the storm trend moving east before the drop in dew points. So it's not one of those things where a line of storms pushes through because the atmosphere is still humid. If storms pop up again, there may be an additional risk of severe weather. Don't think that's going to happen this time around. I think whatever storms pass through the day and once it's done by the evening, that's it. But let's take a look at it. This is version number 1. I'm going to show you multiple versions, not necessarily on Supercast, but showing you different versions of how much precipitation will I get with each model and what the 6 p.m. radar could look like. So just be mindful of that. Again, there's a very low probability that there might be some clearing taking place by this afternoon. I wouldn't count on a lot. Some models did indicate some areas of mostly sunny skies. Consider yourself lucky if you do get that. We'll hold on to a low chance of rain or a few thunderstorms before midnight, but I think the better chance of storms comes in after midnight. Here's this complex of storms that are going to be coming in from the southwest after 1 a.m. That's what's key as far as, first off, if they produce any strong to severe storms. Not expecting a lot out of it. Quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts if we do get any severe weather. But how long will it linger in the morning on Friday? Not only the rain, but some of the clouds. This model has still cloud cover at noon and then activity already developing at 3 o'clock. Will the atmosphere recover enough, especially with the cloud cover that lingers, to the point of this activity is severe? We get a little bit clearing at 6 o'clock, but by that time the sun is almost setting. This is not the summertime where we still have 2-3 more hours of daylight to where we could destabilize the atmosphere fairly quickly. So it's a very, very tricky setup for tomorrow. And then once that line pushes through, by 11 p.m., you'll notice the whole line of storms pushes into Missouri. Okay, so here's a look at how much rain to expect with this computer model. Not much through 10, and then tonight into tomorrow morning. Some areas getting some decent rainfall. It's going to be spotty. Other areas, not so much. And then for the rest of the day on Friday into Friday evening, that's when we'll get those scattered rain showers and several areas getting at least a quarter inch, and some areas even getting more than an inch, especially down near I-35. There are other computer models that do indicate a little bit more widespread heavier rain, including the European, top right. That might be a little bit too high, but you get the idea that between tonight through tomorrow evening is when we're getting all this rainfall. Now, how much of it, again, as I mentioned, gives way to a break in the rain and some clearing, possibly with some sun during the day Friday. That could ultimately determine how severe the storms will be in the late afternoon, evening hours when we'll get the bulk of the severe weather occurring in the area. So 6 p.m. radar. The top left is our in-house model. This is actually showing a line pushing through during the evening, almost right along the frontal boundary. So will there be enough instability with that from that version of Supercast to where it's going to be severe in that line? And it's going to be in a line. Typically, we don't get tornadoes in a line of storms, but it is a very messy situation. But I want you to prepare for everything. Again, a hail and wind threat overnight tonight. All hazards tomorrow, especially in the late afternoon, evening hours. In fact, look at this. 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. is when I'm really focusing on as far as the potential risk of severe weather. It's very rare to get this, even during the heat of the spring, May and June, early summer, let alone early March on the significant threat. Everything is possible to the potential of a significant storm producing a significant storm. Is this going to be a widespread severe weather outbreak? I don't think it will be. I think it's possible that a storm or two could be extremely dangerous, and that could be enough to produce some of these hazards, including the potential for a tornado, up to 2 inches diameter of hail, 60 to 70, maybe 80 mile per hour wind gusts. So this is going to be something we'll have to fine tune tomorrow. We're getting a lot of questions on Weather Call, on how to sign up. All right, we're going to look at this number, 260-6695, 1-800-260-6695. That is the number. We're getting a few calls on trying to figure out what that number is. I'm trying to put it everywhere I can. It's there. We have it everywhere. I'll have it on here. I'll post this weather call on just a 60-second video. I have it on the forecast discussion online. It's there. If you have any questions, please take care of it today, because sometimes they don't get back to you within 24 hours on your account. You want to make sure that you're ready to have your account set up before tomorrow afternoon and evening. Again, have one or two other ways, at least one other way besides Weather Call, if you think you don't have it ready to go for tomorrow. To get warnings, weather radio, maybe another app, the Red Cross Emergency app. That's a great app too to get alerted. Temperatures on Saturday, mid to upper 50s. And then we're back in the upper 60s and low 70s on Sundays. So we are in for warmer weather for the weekend. Don't forget daylight saving time beginning this weekend. Next week, we're monitoring another cold front pushing through Tuesday and a Tuesday night, bringing more storms that could be severe. We'll keep an eye on that. And then down to 50 on Wednesday, and then starting to warm back up Thursday. It doesn't look to be quite as cold behind the front Tuesday night as what the models were indicating from yesterday, but still something we'll keep an eye on. A quick look at our Storm Spotter training classes, or the National Weather Service Storm Spotter training classes. Cloud County for tonight, Morris County on Monday, and Ottawa County on Tuesday. I just want to check. Okay, I just want to check that there wasn't a 6:30 in Ottawa County. So all these are at 7 o'clock. Quick look at our extended outlook. So we're still looking at probability of above average temperatures and above average precipitation, at least in the 6 to 10 day outlook. The 8 to 14 day outlook shows equal chances of drier than normal and wetter than normal. Please make sure you're staying up to date tomorrow. If you are questioning what the timing is, what the likelihood of severe weather is in your particular city, I have no idea. Models don't get that specific this early. All I can say is be prepared for everything and potentially dangerous weather, especially between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. tomorrow. That's the best we can do right now with the information that we have and the confidence that we have and how it's going to play out. just be ready. But also be ready for the scenario that we don't get the severity of the storms that we could potentially get because of potential rain lingering a little bit longer in the morning tomorrow, and or lingering clouds that could dampen or limit the severity of the storms in the late day.